Hello everyone and welcome to another video and happy 100k! I made a 100k. This is what I did. It is pink, it is a lemon and poppy seed cake, and I am going to start eating it now. Happy 100k. That's pretty good. Okay, so we have our cake and we have our tea. We have all of the celebratory things. Today we're going to be doing a Q&A. So I went out on Instagram stories a couple of nights ago and I asked you guys if you had any questions for me, and I was inundated with questions, so thank you to everyone who submitted questions. If you ever want to be involved in Q&As in the future, please hop over to Instagram. I tend to run all of my Q&As through there because it's really easy to do that. So yes, please feel free to check that out if you want to ever ask questions for Q&As in the future. Before we jump into the Q&A, we're going to be opening up the silver play button, which just arrived. So here we are, here is the silver play button. This took about 4 or 5-ish weeks to arrive. I think we hit 100k about a month and a bit ago. I had this plan to film it and watch it tick over and have this big wonderful moment, except that I was at work when we actually hit 100k. I was sitting at my desk, it was maybe 10 a.m. or something like that. What actual time was it? 10:13 a.m. on the 1st of April. So I was sitting at my desk and I think I was trying to have kind of an informal meeting thing, and I just kept checking my phone because I was like, I can't miss this moment. I can't not see this happen. I never set out to have a goal with YouTube. I never thought this channel would grow to be this big. I'm actually really flabbergasted that we have built such a community here. I'm really overwhelmed and perplexed and just grateful and excited in so many different words. But yeah, I was sitting at my desk just refreshing my phone over and over, and then it finally ticked over at 10:13 a.m. on the 1st of April 2021, 100k subscribers. Thank you so incredibly much to all of you. I can't thank you enough for your support. We're going to be opening up the silver play button. This has been sitting on my floor for about a week. I haven't touched it, I haven't opened it, and I've just been dying to open it. So yeah, without further ado, let's open the silver play button. I can't really believe we're doing this, but yeah, let's open it up, and then afterwards we will get into the Q&A. This is definitely safe. I worked in retail, this is fine. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, there's a letter. They printed it on actual parchment card stuff. That's actually really nice quality paper. Oh my god. Just how far have you come? If each one of your subscribers were a light year, they could take you from one side of the Milky Way to the other. Okay. Ah! Oh my god. Ha! Gee whiz. Okay. I will show you. Here we go. Here it is. Oh my god. Holy shit. I spelled my name correctly. Oh, that's so cool. That is so very cool. Oh my god. There is my name. That is so very cool. Oh my god. I can't really believe this very much. I made my channel in 2013 when I was in my final year of high school because I was watching lots of painting videos and I really loved Agnes Cecil. The very first video I uploaded was this little acrylic painting. I'd use these really cheap acrylic paints from Kmart, and I put a San Cisco song in the background, and the painting is called The Lonely Houses. And Still have that painting. It's very safely kept away in a folder. I borrowed a DSLR from the photography department at my high school. I borrowed a tripod. I didn't have any equipment, so I loaned it all from my school. Yeah, I made my first YouTube video. Sort of on from there, like throughout being in university, I didn't really upload. I uploaded like very sporadically some painting videos, some like Ghibli painting videos specifically. And it wasn't until we took our first holiday to Japan where I like filmed like the whole thing, came home. I took like maybe 6 months or something. It took a while for me to start editing those videos. And then that was sort of when I started releasing videos. So really, I started consistently making YouTube videos in 2016. So that's like 5 years of YouTube, and we've gotten to this point. So this is alarming and amazing. Thank you guys so incredibly much. It has my name on it. They spelled it correctly. I am just so grateful and blown away, and I get like the worst imposter syndrome, so I don't really believe that this is a thing that's happened. It doesn't really feel real, but thank you guys so very much. Okay, so I have now taken my thumbnail shot with the silver play button, and the sun has just come out from behind the cloud in such a way that it's like perfectly illuminating it. But yes, let's jump into this Q&A and I can start answering your questions. Do you have a favorite video that you've uploaded? Probably the video I uploaded from the trip to Hakone. That was a really magical time for me for a bunch of different reasons. I was paid to go on a trip to Hakone to write an article for Gaijin Pot, so all my expenses were paid. It was during a time where we didn't have very much money, and so I got to experience all of these things that I would never have gotten to experience otherwise, and it was just such a magical couple of days. I also do really like the video that I made about having social anxiety while being an extrovert. That video has had such beautiful and insightful comments from so many people, so I really love that video as well. I like a lot of the like poetry style videos. I'll go back and watch like the Why Tokyo video or like the Ode to Dead Cherry Blossoms and stuff like that. I'm really proud of those like more poetry style videos, so I like those as well. How long does it take to record and edit your videos? It genuinely depends. So those like really short sort of 3 to 4 minute no voiceover calm videos that I do, they will tend to take about 5-ish hours. That's a really short video for me. Something like a 25-minute week in my life vlog, that's gonna have at least 4 hours of raw footage, and it will take a very long time to make, probably over 15 hours. How do you overcome self-doubt and anxiety that people usually have when starting YouTube? I still have anxiety and I still have heaps of self-doubt. It never goes away. But it does get a lot easier. So I think the main thing is like just being kind to yourself, practicing. Your favorite thing about making YouTube videos? What is your favorite and least favorite part about being a YouTuber? My favorite thing is getting to like connect with people and communicate with people. My favorite thing is the thought that I'm like providing something for someone that adds value to their life. Like I think that's really important, and I'm really passionate about making content that doesn't waste people's time, and I want to give someone something with every video that I make. So I want to like share some knowledge that I have, or I want to comfort people, or I want to make people feel happy. That's the thing I really want to do. And I'm also cognizant of the fact that we all have such finite time. So if you're sitting down and you're watching a 20-minute video that I made, like that's 20 minutes of your life. I feel really grateful to everyone for all of their time, and the sun is glaring. Let me just put down the curtain. My least favorite part is probably the algorithm, is the fact that I know that if I skip a week and don't upload a video to YouTube that week, I know the following week, the next video is going to do more poorly. It's going to be recommended to less people, and it's going to get less views overall. In some ways, the algorithm can be absolutely amazing because it'll mean that certain random videos will just shoot up in views, and all of a sudden like heaps and heaps of people will flock to my channel. But it's also kind of crappy because you have to think really hard about how an algorithm is going to perceive your video, and you know, the videos that you work the hardest on and the videos that you put the most hours into or the most of yourself into aren't the videos that are necessarily going to do well. Which countries did you visit so far? So I have been to Australia, obviously this is where I'm from, Japan a whole bunch of times. I lived in Japan. You're all well aware of this by now, I'm sorry. I've also been to South Korea. I went to China and Hong Kong as well. So most of my traveling has been through Northeast Asia. What is one country that you'd like to travel to that you haven't been to before? What are some places you want to go to? I would love to go to Istanbul because I read a book about Constantinople and now I'm like really interested in it. I really want to go to Iceland, desperately want to go to the UK. I want to go see all the old castles and stuff. Taiwan, also Indonesia. Do you plan to go back to Japan? Yes, very much, as often as I'm physically able. What is your favorite place in Japan? I love Hakone. I really liked Kobe, so we went to these like beautiful herb gardens there and I just thought it was a really nice little city. Oh, yeah, look, overall my favorite place in the world is Tokyo. Like Tokyo is just an amazing city and I love it to pieces. But aside from Tokyo, those are the other places that I like as well. Favorite neighborhood in Tokyo? I love Kichijoji, which is where the Ghibli Museum is located. Actually, technically it's located in Mitaka, but Kichijoji is really amazing. They have this beautiful park called Inokashira Park and it's just so lovely. How did you go to Japan? By saving a lot of money, by working really, really hard. How many languages do you know and how did you learn them? So I know English, obviously. I also speak some Japanese. So I started learning Japanese when I was 5. I started learning it in primary school. And despite the number of years that I've been studying Japanese, my Japanese is not very good. Like I can hold a broken conversation. I can read certain things. I can order food reasonably well. However, my Japanese is not fluent. I wish it was a lot better than it was. And I am determined to keep studying and keep improving my Japanese. Favorite Japanese convenience store? Mine is Family Mart. Look, same. I love Family Mart. The Famichiki is just excellent. And also when I was on my lunch break on a Saturday when I was like teaching, I used to work this like really long 12-hour day at a school that was about an hour away from Tokyo. And so I would like leave home at like 7:30 and I would get home at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. It was a pretty big day, but during my 30-minute lunch break, I used to go to Family Mart and I would get ebi onigiri. What else would I buy? One kareman, so that's like a curry bun, like Japanese curry in a little bun. Sometimes it had cheese in it, it was really good. And then if I was feeling particularly fancy, I would get one of the like matcha scones. They had like little white chocolate bits, but these were what I used to get from Family Mart. So yes, as far as my konbini bias is concerned, I love Family Mart. Family Mart is really good. Your best memory while living in Japan? Oh my god, there are so many. The day that it snowed, so I got home from work, it was like snowing so much. We went to Yoyogi Park and like no one had like gone there yet, so it was like just this massive sheet of white snow. Threw myself down and made a snow angel and that was like magical. Going to Hakone again, that was like a really big one for me. I loved teaching. Like there was so many things. The book that got you into reading, if you could live in a book, what book would it be? What was the book that taught you the most? Which fantasy land would you like to live in? All of these are the same answer, I'm sorry, and it is Harry Potter. Harry Potter is still just such a fundamental book to me, and it's been really challenging because a certain author on Twitter has made it really hard to hold on to Harry Potter and to not have it in any way be tainted by certain opinions and certain tweets and stuff. But it all comes back to the fact that the reason that I love fantasy, the reason that, you know, I love writing, the reason I love books and magic and all this stuff is all because of Harry Potter, and it's the reason why I have a Harry Potter tattoo. So yes, from a very young age, I desperately wanted to be a witch, like really, really badly. I strongly identified with Hermione, and I pretty much learnt to read off of those books. How do you manage reading with your job and responsibilities? So audiobooks are a brilliant one. I listen to audiobooks constantly. I listen to them while I'm like cleaning or while I'm commuting to work, while I'm exercising and walking. I listen to audiobooks nonstop, and that is one of the key ways that I'm able to keep reading lots even though I'm really quite busy. So what are some books and or authors that you would like to emulate in your own writing? Okay, so good question and a fair question. I don't really want to emulate anyone specifically. Like I really want to write in a style that's really specific to me, and I really want to write in a way that's like unique and all of that kind of stuff. Sort of the stuff that I write, like it tends to, at least I think it tends to be a lot more instinctual. I'm not thinking like, oh, I want to write in this style, or oh, I want to, you know, write a story that's similar to this. It just sort of like, the story just sort of happens, and if there's an influence coming from somewhere, it's pretty subconscious. Like I'm not putting it in deliberately. Do you wish to have your novels published one day? Yes, absolutely. That is my biggest dream and biggest goal. I would love to be a published author. How did you get into creative writing? Honestly, I've been doing it my whole life. Like my earliest memory of writing an actual story, I think I was like 7, and I wrote a like 13-page ripoff of A Series of Unfortunate Events. How can one get better at creative writing without going to school? So you do not have to go to university to do writing. You do not have to do a postgrad. You don't need any formal education in any way to write and to write well. What I would say is if you don't have the financial resources, or if you don't want to go to school to study creative writing, all you really need to do is look for resources on YouTube. For example, Brandon Sanderson has an amazing free lecture series on YouTube on fantasy writing. There are so many cheaper online courses that you can take. Also, really all you need to do is read a lot and write a lot. Just practice, analyze stuff, see what you like, see what you don't like, and just write as much as you can. What did you study both in undergrad and postgrad? So my undergrad was a Bachelor of Commerce specializing in marketing. So the story behind that was I got about 3 weeks into my arts degree. I started uni with an arts degree. I was going to major in English and anthropology, but I got about 3 weeks in and I realized that I was going to come out of university with a boatload of debt and no real like guaranteed job, because obviously it's very hard to get a job with just an English degree. And at that point I had just turned 18. I was already 3 years deep into a career in retail, and I knew that I wanted to have a good stable job. So swapped over to marketing so that I could have a good stable job as I like endeavored to be creative outside of work hours and all that kind of stuff. I had the choice between commerce marketing or media marketing, and while media marketing was a lot more in line with my skill set and interests, commerce marketing offered more electives. And so with doing commerce marketing, I was actually able to like study more English and creative writing subjects, and so that's what I went with. So yes, that's why I ended up doing a Bachelor of Commerce specializing in marketing as my undergrad, because of like practical reasons and job getting reasons and all of that kind of stuff. And then after that I ended up enrolling into a Master's of Writing and Literature, which I graduated early from with a grad dip of writing and literature. What is your job actually? So I am a digital marketing coordinator, which essentially means that I wear lots and lots of hats. So currently I work at a tech company, and my role consists of like social media management, planning, strategy, content, all that kind of stuff. Content production, editing, photography, videography. I manage the website. I do a lot of copywriting. I also do EDMs, which is not electronic dance music. EDM means email direct marketing, which is like basically those annoying like marketing emails that you get. I make those. So yes, I do that as well. And then there's also a really big component of my job which is relevant to like analyzing data and analytics and all of that kind of stuff. So yes, as I said, I wear a lot of hats, I do a lot of different things, but that's pretty much what my job is. What kind of music do you listen to? So I have a really weirdly eclectic taste in music. Mostly I would say I listen to like indie music. I love the Arctic Monkeys, Regina Spektor, Angus and Julia Stone, that sort of thing. But I also listen to a few Japanese bands as well. 1OK Rock, Jenny High, Bish, Polka Dot Stingray, stuff like that. My favorite songs playlist is honestly just a mess. Like on there I have Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, Love Story by Taylor Swift, there's Vermilion by Slipknot. It's just, there's so many different weird things on there. I love the Gorillaz. I'm listening to Dodie a lot at the moment recently. Just so many different kinds of music. Which phone do you use? Okay, so this is the Samsung S9, I think. I think that's the model of phone this is. Whatever it is, it's like 3 years old. What is the biggest wish you have at the moment? To publish a novel. That is a pretty consistent wish from me actually. How tall are you? I am 5'6". It's really weird that I'm metric for absolutely everything except my height. I can never remember in centimeters how tall I am, but I can always remember that I'm 5'6". What is your favorite game? I love Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing. I've played a lot of hours of World of Warcraft. I've also spent a lot of time playing The Sims and Tomb Raider. Favorite tea flavor? Okay, I can go get it. This one by T2, it is T2's Green Tea Rose. This one is just amazing. It's my absolute favorite flavor of tea. And the final question of this Q&A, what is your biggest fear? Okay, so I get nervous about answering this one because I'm like, if I say what my biggest fear is, are people gonna start like sending me photos of that thing that I'm scared of? I don't know, that makes me nervous. I'll tell you one of the things that I'm scared of. So I don't like spiders, which I think is fair being an Australian and growing up in Australia. So like I'll deal with redbacks. Those are like the little black ones with like a red stripe. They are very, very venomous. They're actually really deadly if you're like elderly or quite young. Those don't scare me, interestingly enough. Like obviously I wouldn't pick one up, but like they don't intimidate me very much. The spiders I don't like are huntsman spiders. So please feel free to Google what that spider looks like. Basically, it's a really big brown fluffy spider. They're quite large. And growing up in the country, I grew up quite far away from Adelaide. I grew up around like a lot of like sheep and cows and stuff like that. There were a lot of spiders, like a lot of huntsman spiders, and I have had so many run-ins with them. I can stand there and look at a huntsman spider, but the second it starts moving, I will run. Like I physically can't control myself. Like they shouldn't be able to move that many legs and not trip over. It doesn't work. Anyway, my favorite like traumatizing story that I have to do with huntsman spiders is when I was working in retail. So I worked in retail for quite a while. It was like 6 years or something like that. And one of the places where I worked was a stationery / computer store. So I sold computers to people and I worked in stationery and I did like printing and stuff like that. But there was this one night, it was like 10 o'clock at night, I was doing night fill and I was filling this aisle. It was aisle 7, full of display folders, and I was up on one of those like retail ladders, 1.5 meters or 160 centimeters off the ground. I was standing on this platform, I had this big box of display folders, and I was filling this shelf, and I was putting away all of the display folders like up high, and out of the corner of my eye, like just like below my peripheral vision, I saw this very specific shade of gray brown fluff on my thigh, so right on my leg, so like here. It was pretty much here, and it I knew immediately what that was. Like it just, that you can't not know straight away. I stood there with this huntsman that was about this big. It was a really big huntsman on me. I froze. I think I started yelling. Thank God the store was closed because the customers would have been really alarmed. Started trying to hit the huntsman off of me with the box. That's a really dumb idea because although huntsman spiders are not venomous, they're actually quite a sweet spider. Like as far as spiders go, like they're tree spiders, they tend to be up quite high. They're not aggressive, they won't chase you. Wolf spiders are quite large and they will actually chase you. So huntsmans are pretty good. They tend to stay away from humans and they're not venomous. But if they bite you, you can get an infection. So hitting it with a box was a really stupid idea, but I was scared and panicking, so I was hitting the spider off of me. And then I kind of blacked out and jumped from the ladder. Like I just straight up jumped, and I must have actually hit it away as I did that, because the next thing I knew, I was on the floor. Didn't injure myself, I was fine. The display folders were somewhere. I don't know where the box went. And the spider was on the floor, and I was basically like crying, and all of my co-workers are like, what happened? Like what could have possibly happened to you? So yes, that is my fun little anecdote with huntsman spiders. Like I've had so many horrible experiences with them. And yeah, that was the very last question we had of this Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed that fun little story about the huntsman spider. That was such a traumatizing thing that happened to me. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so incredibly much for 100,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. I can't thank you guys enough for being here, for commenting, for liking, for subscribing, for all of the things. Just thank you so very much. Thank you to everyone over on Patreon who is supporting this channel. Take care guys, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.